UFC Rio takes place this weekend, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you my exact predictions for the entire card. So let's get into it. As always, I like to look at my past week's performance to see what we can improve upon. And at UFC 320, we went 11-3, nearly sweeping the entire card. We picked one underdog, Ramiz Brahimaj. He goes out there, finds the submission as we predicted. We had Mesquita as a favorite. I thought she was going to make easy work of Yana Santos if she mixed in grappling. Turns out Yana Santos has nasty clinch game, and I underestimated that completely. Patchy Mix we also picked. Not in any century or world or other universe would I have picked Jakob Wilklatz to beat Patchy Mix. That seemed like a tailor-made matchup for Patchy Mix to win by decision, and in my opinion, I feel like he got robbed. I think he definitely won rounds 2 and rounds 3, but if you're going to a split decision with Jakob Wilklatz, Patchy Mix, it's been nice knowing you. See you at the PFL. And then Alex Pereira in the main event. I had Mohammed Ankalaev. My take was that this fight was not going to see the scorecards. And sure enough, it ends in round 1. Not with Mohammed finding the KO, but with Pereira. So even though I got the pick wrong, I actually am jubilated by Pereira winning the title and reclaiming former Chama glory. As for the bets, well, if we go 11-3 on picks, sure enough, you're going to bank on the bets. We were up 10.38 units. We bet Ramiz Brahimaj. We had a load of parlays, 4 different ones, and the only one that missed was Mesquita money line. We also had a prop on Merab by sub that almost hit as well, plus 900. We would have been up major monkey piles if that happened. But I'll take 10.38 units. Let's see if we can replicate this for UFC Rio. I'm going to be breaking down cards a little differently moving forward. I'm going to start out by breaking down fights that, maybe not a lot of interest in betting, maybe not a lot of interest in watching straight up. So consider this the speed running portion of the breakdown. First fight we're going to speed run through is Saimon Oliveira taking on Luan Lacerda. Saimon Oliveira, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. I don't think he's durable whatsoever. I'm not really sure how he's supposed to win a fight in the UFC. He doesn't have power in his hands, he doesn't have elite submission skills, and he doesn't have elite takedowns. So if he's not going to be able to take down Luan Lacerda, and he's not going to be able to KO Luan Lacerda, and he's not going to be able to out-volume Luan Lacerda, I don't know how he possibly wins. As for Lacerda, he's going to be the better striker. All right, I don't think he's ever KO'd anyone, but if he were to find a KO, it would be in this matchup against Saimon Oliveira, one of the least durable guys in the UFC. We got a grappler versus a grappler, so usually when that happens, it turns into a striking match, and I lean Luan Lacerda to win the striking match, and honestly speaking, whoever loses this gets cut. Because Luan Lacerda is 0-2 in the UFC. Oliveira is 0-3 in his last 3. Luan Lacerda is the better striker. He got Cody Stamann and Damon Blackshear in his UFC run so far. And now they're giving him bottom of the barrel Saimon Oliveira. So I think he should go out there. And honestly, I don't like his striking that much. But if he were to KO anyone, it would be Saimon Oliveira. So give me Luan Lacerda by KO. Next fight we're speed running through is Ricardo Ramos taking on Kaan Ofli. This is the battle of 2 untrustworthy fighters. Ricardo Ramos is one of the only fighters in UFC history that I think has back-to-back guillotine submission losses. If you're putting your head into a guillotine in one fight and you do it again in the second fight, I don't know how I could possibly trust to pick you. Number 1, I don't know how I could possibly trust to bet you. Now, Ricardo Ramos as a favorite, automatic, that's a yellow flag, all right? You can never trust Ricardo Ramos as a favorite. Maybe as a plus 300 underdog, you can put a flyer on him because he has a lot of spinning attacks and you know he's going to shoot for takedowns. But Ramos as a favorite is a huge red flag. But Kaan Ofli, 0-2 in the UFC. He's going to be way smaller in this matchup, and the one thing that is consistent about Kaan Ofli's UFC run is that he cannot defend a takedown, and once he gets taken down, he gets controlled at a very long rate. So, Ricardo Ramos, we do know that he shoots takedowns. Kaan Ofli, we do know that he struggles with takedowns, and if this stays standing, I don't think Kaan Ofli's striking is really that good whatsoever. Kaan Ofli could mix in a takedown of his own, but at plus 155, that's the only path to victory. I'm not trusting it. Give me Ricardo Ramos to win by decision. I think he just kind of mauls Kaan Ofli, no cap. I think he just continuously gets takedowns and eventually just wins by decision. Next fight we're speed running through is Julia Polastri taking on Karolina. Next fight we're speed running through is Julia Polastri taking on Karolina Kowalkiewicz. This is women's MMA, and we have someone that is sitting as a minus 450 favorite. So right off the bat, you might think, all right, let's just put money on the plus 350 underdog, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. But I'm here to say that I actually love Julia Polastri as a fighter. I think I've picked her in every UFC fight she's fought so far, and I think she's 2-2. She might be 1-3. But every time she fights, she moves forward, she fires with big power, and she actually shoots takedowns. So in this one, if she's going to move forward, fight with big power, and shoot takedowns, she should win this fight. She's 12 years younger than Karolina Kowalkiewicz. That is the only stat you need. Give me Julia Polastri to win this by decision. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to see her pull off a submission victory. Maybe might sprinkle that for $5. But Julia Polastri, pretty confident pick, even though it's women's MMA. She's one of my favorites. Next fight we're speed running through is Irina Alekseeva taking on Beatriz Mesquita. Irina Alekseeva, she was minus 300 in her last fight against Saigula, and she just fumbled the bag completely. Everyone thought going into that fight that Claudia Saigula was not good whatsoever, and Irina Alekseeva makes Claudia Saigula look like a top 15 women's bantamweight. So Irina Alekseeva is completely untrustworthy. She's the Russian Ronda, but doesn't really shoot offensive takedowns. She doesn't really throw with much volume. She doesn't throw with much power. She's just kind of a punching bag that's there to get hit. And in this one, Beatriz, she is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist, so she's not going to strike Irina Alekseeva. Her striking is not that good. Minus 525 as a women's favorite yet again. That is crazy odds, so you might just blindly bet Alekseeva plus 385, considering she was minus 385 in her last fight, and now she's fighting someone making her UFC debut. But if you actually look at Beatriz's tape and you look over her resume, this girl is literally world class. She has world class jits, and if this fight hits the mat, she will either find the sub, or she even has some ground and pound to pound out Irina. So, a sneaky bet, low-key, Beatriz by KO. Wouldn't be shocked to see the ground and pound come through, but I'm going with Beatriz Mesquita to win this by sub. I think she's going to shoot offensive takedowns. I think it's going to work, and I'm just not sure what Irina does. What does she do? Does she throw at power? No. Does she throw at volume? No. Does she shoot takedowns? No. She's just there. She's just there sparring. So, give me Beatriz to win by sub. Next fight we're speed running through is Rocha taking on Stewart Nicoll. This is a very strange matchup. We have two guys that are winless in the UFC. Rocha is coming off a submission loss to Clayton Carpenter. Stewart Nicoll is coming off a submission loss to Jesus Aguilar. Now, we are in UFC Rio. We are in Brazil. So automatically, you might just straight up lean the Brazilian. Since we're in Brazil, Stewart Nicoll flew in from Australia. He's going to probably have some jet lag. He flew in, I think, yesterday. Not a lot of time to acclimate. But if we're going skill for skill, what do we know? Rocha, his takedown defense is mid. He's getting taken down and controlled at will. In his Dana White's Contender Series fight, got taken down 5 times in the first round. He did find the finish in round 2, but he got taken down 5 times in round 1. And then Clayton Carpenter, who, yes, he has good jiu-jitsu, but not like elite top tier, takes this guy down and submits him very easily. So Stewart Nicoll, we know he's a heavy grappler. He's going to shoot takedowns. He mixes them in a lot. And as the plus 105 underdog, who opened as a minus 185 favorite, I think there's a lot to like about this guy. So for those reasons, I'm going with Stewart Nicoll to win this by submission. He's going to move forward. He's going to shoot takedowns. Rocha doesn't have this like sneaky, nasty guillotine that I'm aware of like Jesus Aguilar did. So Stewart Nicoll minus 300 in his last fight. Now he's plus 105. I'm not buying it. I think Stewart Nicoll will have a lot of grappling success, and I think he'll do it early. I'm saying Stewart Nicoll round 1 sub. Now, if this stays standing, Rocha has a supreme chance to win. I don't think Nicoll's striking is that bad, though. I actually like fight to not go the distance as a bet if it's plus money. It's flyweight. and I'm taking a flyweight under. I'm taking Stewart Nicoll by sub. Next fight we're speed running through is Vitor Petrino taking on Thomas Petersen. Now, in this one, there's a very real chance that Vitor Petrino does not have takedown success. There's also a real chance that Thomas Petersen does not have takedown success. So, if neither guy is taking down the other, the question is, who's the better striker on the feet? Well, Vitor is coming up from light heavyweight. I anticipate him being the quicker, faster striker. And I also anticipate Vitor Petrino having more power in his hands. So, if this stays standing, I'm anticipating Vitor Petrino maybe even being able to knock out Thomas Petersen. It's not like he's the most durable guy. If Thomas Petersen stays standing for too long, he often gets clipped, often gets knocked down, like he did against Waldo Cortez Acosta, like he did against Shamil Gaziev. So on the feet, I think Vitor can win this by KO, but it could turn into a heavyweight slop fest because Petrino doesn't throw with the most volume, and honestly, at heavyweight, who knows how his power will translate? What we do know is Vitor Petrino most likely will try to get this fight to the ground. Thomas Petersen, 100% takedown defense. Well, if he actually does get taken down, we don't know what he looks like off his back. He might just lay there and just be chubby, you know? He might just be like a turtle on his back. And that's exactly what Vitor Petrino did to Austin Lane, made him look like a turtle on his back, got the easy submission. So in this one, if Vitor Petrino actually does get takedowns, I anticipate he's going to actually find the finish. He's doing the Jailton Almeida game plan. All right? If you're having not a lot of success at light heavyweight, just move up to heavyweight if you have good jiu-jitsu, because most of them don't know how to grapple. So, Vitor Petrino by submission is the pick. Next fight we're speed running through is Vicente Luque taking on Joel Alvarez. Listen, all right, Joel Alvarez, I mean, he's going to probably find the finish, all right? This is probably my shortest breakdown in human history. Joel Alvarez minus 600. He is on short notice. That is concerning. He does have 40% takedown defense. That's also concerning, considering Vicente Luque can maybe mix in takedowns. But on the feet, this is no contest. Joel Alvarez can easily KO Luque if he wants. And I think if Luque shoots dusty takedowns like he did against Kevin Holland, Joel Alvarez, 17 wins by sub of his 22 victories. I think Joel Alvarez will be able to submit Vicente if Vicente is shooting a dusty takedown. So Joel Alvarez by KO, super live. Joel Alvarez by sub, that's what I'm picking. And Joel Alvarez by decision, that can even happen if he's like taking it easy on Luque. You know, he feels a little bad for him. Vicente Luque at this point in his career has taken so much damage that it's insane to pick him in a fight against a high-level opponent. So Joel Alvarez, I'm saying by submission. Next fight we're speed running through is Deiveson Figueiredo taking on Montel Jackson. I understand there is a real possibility that Deiveson Figueiredo in this matchup can have takedown success. Montel Jackson, if there's one hole in its game, it's that he doesn't deal with takedowns that well. Daniel Marcos even got 3 takedowns on him on 7 attempts, but if you look at the scorecards, Montel Jackson won 30-27 on all 3 of them. So even though he's getting taken down, he's not getting super controlled. He's not giving up insane jiu-jitsu positions. He's not really giving up his back like people think he is. Against Brett Johns, yes, that didn't look good. Brett Johns got his back. Brett Johns won by decision through takedowns. But also in that fight, Montel Jackson nearly knocked him out in the first round. Montel Jackson has a lot of power. He's landed at least 1 knockdown in 5 of his last 6 fights. If this stays standing, Deiveson is probably going to get knocked out. Another thing, Deiveson is coming off a bad knee injury against Corey Sandhagen. That was this year, guys. That was this year. And now he's fighting at Rio probably because he's Brazilian and they need to fill the card up with Brazilians. So, yes, Figueiredo, can he have takedown success? Yes. Will he find the sub? I actually don't think so because Montel Jackson's base is jiu-jitsu. He's got jiu-jitsu chops. People forget because he's knocking out people that he's really good at jiu-jitsu. So Montel Jackson, I'm going with him to win this by a greasy decision. I think he actually will get takedowns of his own. I think he'll be able to thwart Figueiredo's takedowns. I think he's going to be way quicker on the feet. He's going to have way more volume on the feet, way more power on the feet. Every advantage seemingly goes to Montel Jackson to win this fight. So, give me Montel by decision. Next fight we're discussing is Valter Walker taking on Mohammed Usman. Heavyweight MMA, there is someone that is minus 320 with no KO power, and there's someone that's plus 270 that has slight KO power. So based off that alone, you might just pick the plus 270 underdog, considering it's heavyweight MMA. If Valter Walker doesn't get his takedowns going, Mohammed Usman could probably win a tit-for-tat striking battle. But Valter Walker, at this point, should be ranked. I don't even think he has a ranking. He's asking for bottom-of-the-barrel heavyweights. He's asking for these guys simply so he can get a heel hook on them. He has 3 first-round heel hooks in a row, and in this one, Mohammed Usman has a wrestling background, sure, but I'm not sure what he's going to do differently from the last 3 guys Valter Walker faced that would make me think Valter Walker doesn't find the sub again. He's not even really shooting for takedowns. If the takedowns don't work, he just dives in your leg and snatches it up. So, not seeing how Mohammed Usman is going to be able to thwart that. So, Valter Walker by submission is my pick. I'm saying round number 1. It seems pretty easy, honestly. But, like, if Valter Walker doesn't get takedowns, I am concerned, but he's been able to get it against guys I didn't think he'd be able to get it against recently. So, Valter Walker by sub, round 1 again. Next fight we're discussing is Lucas Almeida taking on MICHAEL ASWELL. Before doing any research, you should not be picking or betting someone that is 0-2 in the UFC, and that is what MICHAEL ASWELL is, especially against someone like Lucas Almeida, who has multiple UFC wins. And in his losses, I know he did get KO'd by Andre Fili, but besides that, his losses don't look super bad. Okay, against Danny Silva, went to split decision. I actually scored it for Lucas Almeida. I think I picked Lucas Almeida in every UFC fight thus far, like straight up. And against MICHAEL ASWELL, I don't know if I'll be changing that. MICHAEL ASWELL will throw more volume, but he's not going to mix in a takedown. So if this stays standing, sure, he can maybe win a volume striking affair, but I think Almeida is going to throw with more power. I think he can land a knockdown that can turn the round in his favor. I also think Lucas Almeida can mix in a takedown that can turn the round in his favor. Lucas Almeida is 1-2 to the decision. Not a big fan of that. He's also going to be 9 years older than ASWELL. Not a big fan of that. But it just goes back to what I said at the beginning. I'm not picking someone that's 0-2 in the UFC and hasn't really showed me that they have what it takes to win at this level, especially in Rio, against a Brazilian. So for those reasons, I'm going with another underdog, Lucas Almeida, to win this by decision. He might just straight up win by KO. He is a potent finisher, and like I said, 1-2 to the decision. But he has the ability to mix in takedowns, and I believe he will have the power upside. So give me Lucas Almeida by decision. Next fight we're discussing is Jafel Filho taking on Clayton Carpenter. I have picked Jafel Filho, I believe, in every UFC fight thus far, including against Muhammad Mokaev. I really like this guy's style, but if there's one thing that I continue to see that annoys me, it's number 1, Jafel Filho's durability on the feet. Not good whatsoever. If Clayton Carpenter lands a big shot on Filho, Filho is going to look for the door. Against Daniel Bayrez, yes, he got the round 1 sub, but prior to that, he nearly got KO'd on the feet twice from body shots. So, I think Clayton Carpenter will be definitely the better striker in this matchup. I think Clayton Carpenter will throw with more power on the feet in this matchup. I think if it comes for takedowns, I think Clayton Carpenter, he can shoot offensive takedowns, as can Jafel Filho. So if the grappling kind of offsets each other, and Jafel Filho, I'm concerned with his durability and with his gas tank as the fight progresses. And Clayton Carpenter, this is a huge step down in comp after fighting Tagir Ulanbekov. I think Clayton Carpenter has what it takes to beat the Brazilian in Rio. I'm going with Clayton Carpenter to find the finish. He could find the sub on Jafel Filho. I wouldn't be shocked to see like a round 2 or round 3 sub after Filho is gassed. But on the feet, I think Carpenter is going to possess way too much for Filho. And after Filho's early onslaught of takedowns doesn't work, I think Carpenter will find the knockout blow. I'm saying to the body, give me Clayton Carpenter by KO. Next fight we're discussing is Jonata Diniz taking on Mario Pinto. This is a battle between 2 potent, powerful strikers. Jonata Diniz, if there's one hole in his game, it's takedown defense. The good news is Mario Pinto, also, his hole in his game is also takedown defense. Neither guy is going to really be shooting a takedown in this one. So if it stays standing, Jonata Diniz, he's way more durable than Pinto. All right. He's never been truly knocked out. His loss is a ground and pound stoppage from Tybura, but he's never actually been knocked out. Mario Pinto, he has been knocked down. We've seen it against Austin Lane, of all people. So if Austin Lane is able to find a knockdown on you, I'm not sure how you're going to fare against Jonathan Deniz, who has 10 times more power than Austin Lane. He's the 10 times better fighter than Austin Lane. Mario Pinto will have the size advantage. I am concerned about that. But Jonathan Deniz, former Glory kickboxer, I'm not picking against him if I know it's going to be a standing, striking battle. He seems to win those time and time again. He's going to throw with more volume. He's going to throw with similar power. It's going to be in Rio. He's the Brazilian. I'm taking Jonathan Deniz to win this, actually by decision. I think Pinto, yes, he has shown chin concerns, but not enough where I think Deniz will find the KO. I think Deniz maybe will land a knockdown early. That's going to cause the fight to be slower. That's going to cause Pinto to not rush in as he usually does. And I think Jonathan Deniz, he's got multiple decision victories for a reason. I'm taking him to win another one. In the main event of the evening, Charles Oliveira taking on Mateusz Gamrot. I actually think this fight is fairly simple to break down. Mateusz Gamrot is going to shoot takedowns. Charles Oliveira is going to try to get Mateusz Gamrot in a guillotine or try to flip positions on the ground once it gets there. Mateusz Gamrot's never been submitted, folks. All right? I do not think Charles Oliveira will be able to find the sub. If it stays standing, Oliveira has some decent power, and Gamrot will probably lose striking exchanges. But if it goes to the ground, Gamrot is not getting subbed. I just don't see it. And the only way I see Oliveira winning is if he finds the sub. I think Gamrot is just going to simply lay on top of Oliveira for 5 rounds, control him for 5 rounds, do exactly what he did against Ludwig Klein, which is just stay in half guard, land some elbows. I wouldn't even be shocked to see Gamrot himself find the finish, find the sub, find the KO via ground and pound. I think Gamrot's just a way better fighter at this stage in both fighters' careers. Charles Oliveira just got slept by Ilya, and that was, 4 months ago? Gamrot's coming off of one of the best performances of his career against Ludwig Klein about 4 months ago. I think Gamrot's going up, Oliveira's going down in terms of trajectory, and it's just hard to pick Oliveira, especially at pick'em odds. Like, if Oliveira was plus 200, maybe I would throw a sprinkle on Oliveira by sub, because he always got the chance to do that. But at even pick'em odds, give me Mateusz Gamrot, the gamer, to win by decision. I actually bet him at plus 120. So I don't want to hear, Fins has fake bets. No. I put 3 units on Gamrot plus 120. I think it's a travesty that he was plus money. Charles Oliveira should be a bigger underdog in this one. I think Gamrot just wins by control. Here are my most confident takes of the card. If you've been paying attention, these hit at an incredibly high rate. Luan Lacerda money line. I don't think Saimon Oliveira has anything to offer, so Lacerda should win. It's also a big step down in competition. Beatriz Mesquita moneyline. After picking Irina last fight, never again will I do the same mistake. Clayton Carpenter moneyline. I think Jafel Fieldholt will crumble to the pressure, and Carpenter will find the finish on the feet. Jonathan Deniz moneyline. Never picking against this guy if I know he's not going to get taken down, and I don't think he'll get taken down. Joel Alvarez moneyline. Vicente Luque is just way over the hill. That's it. And my sneaky takes, if you've been paying attention, these also slap at a high rate. Last week we hit every single one, and these are always plus money. So pay attention. Valter Walker by sub. It seems free. He's done 3 fights in a row. I don't see Mo Osman being any different. Stewart Nicoll money line. He will have grappling success, and I think he'll even find the sub. Lucas Almeida money line. UFC experience edge, power advantage, and he's fighting someone that's 0-2 in the UFC. He should win. And Mateusz Gamrot, the gamer money line. I think he's just going to wrestle dominate Charles Oliveira for 5 rounds. He's going to do the Arman Sarukian game plan, land ground and pound, maybe even find a late round sub. Let's make money.